You said that you've had teams in the past that you think didn't really want to play Baylor or want to upper plan a team like that. What makes you think this team is up for such a big challenge?
Well, I think just by the way they go about doing their business every day. I think it's a team that enjoys competing together. I think it's a team that's proven that when they do things the way they're capable, they can compete at a high level. And then obviously, I think the other part of it is we have seniors that understand the time in their career, and I think the other players have embraced the idea that the seniors' clock is ticking, and they want to help them play the way they should. And I think the last thing would be we've made such a big deal about playing at home this year and doing it better that this is the last team that will play that beat us here last year. So it's just kind of all come together in that way. So hopefully tomorrow we'll play a good game.
4 years ago, you played Baylor, beat them here. They were one of the top teams in the country. What do you remember about that game, and how do you, I don't know, encourage your team and give them confidence as they go in to play such a good team?
Well, I think the thing I remember about that one, and probably any game you play against a really good team that you're fortunate enough to win, is you hang around. You don't get knocked out. You make plays at the end of the shot clock and someone banks in a shot, or they miss a shot that they normally would make, or obviously they're the number one team in the country for a reason. And when that happens and you have to play those kind of teams, it's a combination of you playing at a high level, the energy in this building, and they have to help you. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. So all those things came together, and it was the end of the year. It was senior a day where our seniors kind of, Nikki and Brandon Fallon kind of took over the game, and it's just one of those senior moments that was certainly one I'm sure they'll always remember. But all of it kind of came together in one day, and that's the thing when you play in college. I said this the other day. It's not a best 4 out of 7. It's one game, and you give it your best shot and see what happens.
You've done this a long time. When you face a team like that, do you get excited? Do you get butterflies? Do you get nervous, or is it? I mean, it's just like business as usual.
For me, I get nervous every game. I really do. I've always told myself if I ever walk into this building or any building, and I'm not nervous, then I should quit coaching. You don't sleep night before games. You don't. But that's the nature of the business. I think if you're not that way, then you shouldn't be doing this. It's time for someone else to do it. So, but obviously the attention is a little bit more. It's like when you play an in-state game, or if you're fortunate to play a postseason game, those kind of things. There's always a heightened maybe awareness. There's a little more, the game's on TV. There's, you promote it a little bit more. There's some things on the periphery that might change it a little bit. But as far as the way I go about doing my business, it's the same. I don't care who it is. I've been, like you said, I've been doing this too long to think that one's more important than the other one.
You said after the Oklahoma game, Baylor would probably have to have an off game in some way to give you an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Have they shown any sort of cracking propensity in one area?
Nah, they really haven't. But I think the big thing is, you can when you play really good teams, any game, but especially a game like this, you have to worry about what you can control. And you can't. That their size is unique to the women's game, so you have to position yourself better. Don't give up silly offensive rebounds. Don't commit a silly foul. When you got a good look at the basket, you got to make it. All those things. All those things add up. And I think that when teams do that, you put yourself in a position to hang around. And again, with Baylor, the history with them has always been, you feel like, hey, we're hanging around, and all of a sudden they hit you with 10-0, 12-0, and the game's over. And you've got to figure out a way to prevent that. And I mean, even the game down there, it's a 3-point game. We have a backdoor cut for a layup. We fumble the ball out of bounds. We don't guard a play at the end of the game. So maybe being down 1 at halftime, instead you're down 6. And then next thing you know, second half starts, game over. So that's why they're number one. That's why they're so good every year. That's why they've won the conference 9 times in a row. the crack is so small that it just doesn't happen very often.
Do you enjoy coaching against Kim? You guys have coached against each other a long time. What is that like?
It's hard. I mean, you know what kind of team you're going to get. I mean, they are probably one of the most unique, if not the most unique basketball team, men or women in the country. They play the game completely opposite of the way everyone else plays it now. Everything's talking about spacing and spreading the court. There's no such thing as spacing. They're going to pound it. I mean, it's like wishbone football. They are going to, they're going to run it down your throat and throw it inside and throw it inside. And, you look at, they had a game the other night. I don't know who was against. I think they scored 97 points and made 2 3-point shots. That's just not possible. And so I think the way they play, and they've always had great size. And that's just, and it wasn't just, you think about the number of great post players that have come through college basketball. There's a lot of them played at Baylor, and they recruit to it. They build around it, and that's their system. And and in our game, that size is so hard to overcome. It's not like there's a 7-foot guy, but there's a guy 6'4" with, Jay Bill is 7-foot wingspan who can jump out of the building. You're 6'6", 6'7", 6'5", and you're a female basketball player. I mean, you can count them on 2 hands, and so the advantage they have is a tremendous one, and they do a great job of exploiting that advantage.